Here now, Medal of Honor recipient, retired Army Staff Sergeant David Bellavia, along with former CIA station chief and Fox News contributor Dan Hoffman. Gentlemen, great to see both of you. Brian and I have been quoting Yogi Berra a lot lately. And Dan, I will quote him again. It's like deja vu all over again. I went back and read some comments you made on this very show, May 26th. And you could just repeat everything you said back then, but please don't. We don't know anything about this deal, do we?
No, we don't. That's the first thing. We don't know anything at all. Now, the president said that the deal, he alluded to the fact that the deal would result in opening the Strait of Hormuz and would deal with Iran's nuclear program, that they'd never have a nuclear weapon. Beyond that, we don't know a lot. We haven't seen any documents. I frankly doubt that any documents have been prepared. And even if there were, even just a couple of days, I can tell you from my own experience, from having served in war zones in the Middle East and South Asia, just a couple days, that's an eternity in the Middle East. A whole lot can change. So we'll just have to wait and see. The president is optimistic. He's been optimistic before, and we haven't seen the results the way I think that he would like.
Staff Sergeant Bellavia, do you think our attacks over the past day or two fundamentally changed the Iran regime's calculus? Was it enough to take them from kind of dithering to signing a deal, or are we a little over-optimistic about their commitment to this deal?
Well, as been said, previously, we don't really know what's in this deal. Here's what's different about this deal is that you've got outspoken, at least support from representatives from Saudi, Turkey, Egypt. Pakistan was leading the charge before. You've got a little bit more vocal support, but clearly we know what the Gulf Arab states want. This instability isn't good for anyone. The president mentioned, they've taken a beating like no other. I would argue Iran deserves a beating like no other. And if 2 days of shock and awe are enough to get them to change their mind, the question has to be, where was this with the other violations of the ceasefire a month ago? If that's the calculus of 2 days of consistent bombing got them, to where they are now, maybe 3 weeks ago we should have started this up and we could have gotten anything we wanted out of a deal because the leaders are no longer with us.
Right. I would say I only know what I don't know. I don't believe that's a Yogi Berra quote, but it could be, David. Moving on to this. This seditious six member, Democrat Congressman Jason Crow, doesn't just want our soldiers to defy hypothetical illegal orders. He also believes Americans can only get the truth from the terror regime that is Iran. Listen to this.
When we're in a situation where we have to tune into what the Iranians say to get the real information on the status of the negotiations, that's a huge problem, right? Because the information coming out of the administration is inconsistent at best and misleading at worst.
Staff Sergeant, your reaction to that?
I mean, look, Representative Crow has long made his decision on how he sees the world. There's a lot of things I question about Jason Crow's analysis. But at the end of the day, if I'm to listen to the Iranian regime, I'm hearing direct talking points from Jason Crow. So I don't know where they end and where he begins, because the Democrat Party has been picking up where the Ayatollah left off, and they've done a pretty good job of spreading their propaganda for a while now.
Dan, you can take that one on if you want, but I also wanted to ask you a little bit about the money angle of this. I'm hearing that if the blockade will end when the agreement is signed. When I hear that, what that tells me is Iran's going to start making a heck of a lot of money selling oil again. Does that concern you?
Yeah, so real quick on Representative Crow's comments, I might have phrased it differently, but I think we do have to pay attention to what Iran says publicly. They haven't confirmed that there's going to be a deal. Let's just leave it at that and not say that we rely on Iran for the best news of the day or anything. But, the regime will come out and say publicly whether they support a deal or don't. So I'll leave that to those who track the politics, as you've emphasized. When it comes to the money, we do have to be concerned about that. Our leverage right now is the blockade. It's sanctions, and it's the threat at this point of military strikes. When we take away our leverage, we reduce or eliminate altogether our ability to strike a deal that's going to be better than the JCPOA. That's what President Trump is going to be graded on. President Trump made a lot of really good points about why the JCPOA was a bad deal. Even Democrats like Senator Chuck Schumer didn't support it. That's why it never became a treaty. But we need something better, and we've got to be careful. We had our boots on Iran's throats before the ceasefire, and I could tell you from my experience, I would have been a little bit happier if we had just tapped them out and ended it. But we went with a ceasefire instead, and we'll just have to see where this gets us.
And we are still dealing with and even negotiating with the same Iran, the same terrorist regime. The UN nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, demanded urgent Iran cooperation and access to the nuclear sites, calling it essential and urgent in order to enable verification that there's no diversion of nuclear material yesterday. David, final word to you.
I mean, I just don't know who we trust here. The UN has been almost feckless in years past, dealing with, enforcing any of these rules. We've got multiple tiers of enriched uranium. You've got the super advanced kind, and then you've got the ones that could be advanced to make a weapon. There's a lot here we don't know. Unfortunately, with this communication and narrative, we've been down this road so many times that I think it's breeding a little bit of unhealthy cynicism.
Well, we will watch it carefully this weekend. Staff Sergeant Bellavia, Dan Hoffman, we really appreciate your expertise. Thanks for being with us.